After winning such a delicate case, you'd expect that the only thing Depp and his people would be getting is love and support from everyone. But that has not exactly been the case in recent times. This is because while several fans are chanting and praising them for making such a huge win with the odds stacked against them, some others are actually plotting their downfall in society. So, exactly who is after Johnny Depp and his team, and why are they after them? So far, it's safe to say that there has almost never been a trial in the limelight that had as many complications as the battle between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, which lasted for 6 weeks, but technically started 6 years ago. One of the reasons it was so complicated was because both of the parties involved were celebrities, with one having a controversial past and another one being an advocate for women's rights. And when the winner was announced and it was revealed that the women's rights advocate was actually the one that was the violent person in the relationship, a lot of people couldn't handle that possibility. Consequently, there was a lot of lashing out, as several feminists and other people advocating for women in domestic violence situations came out to show their disdain for the legal system, which found Johnny innocent after several weeks of presenting evidence and contemplation. But it seems some of them are taking the news worse than others, as this was the case when it was reported that a Stanford law professor made it known that everyone involved in Depp's win in any way was going to pay, especially Penny Ascarrett, the chief judge of the Fairfax County Circuit Court. The professor, Michelle Dauber, was reported to the world via a tweet that stated that she was planning to get Judge Ascarrett off the bench because of her ruling in the case between Amber and Johnny. The tweet read, "I didn't want to bring this up again, but Michelle Dauber is literally thinking about starting a campaign to get Judge off the bench, all for a verdict of a trial which she never watched. These blue checks are something else." Normally, you would be more inclined to doubt that a professor from a prestigious institution would actually make such claims. But the reason this is probably true is that Judge Ascarrett isn't the only one involved in the Depp-Heard case she has seemingly attacked, as she has also previously attacked Camille Vasquez online. In fact, it was even worse in Camille's case because she actually embarrassed the lawyer publicly on social media, so much so that the Daily Mail even reported it. According to the report, Michelle Dauber, who is based in California, criticized a number of lawyers, including Camille Vasquez, who played a key role in Johnny Depp's recent defamation case against his ex-wife Amber Heard. Following the case, in which a jury in Virginia found Ms. Heard liable for 3 counts of defamation against Mr. Depp, and him liable for 1 count against her, Ms. Vasquez shot to international prominence. While much of the attention given to the lawyer has been positive, she has also faced some negativity, including the tweets by Michelle Dauber, which described the attorney as a pick-me girl, a phrase normally used to refer to women who crave male validation. Taking to Twitter, Ms. Dauber wrote, "In a society that strips women of real power, some women have learned to seek male approval in the hopes they won't be raped or abused or humiliated. Sucking up to power might feel good to you, but it won't work. You will be next." Continuing the thread, she shared an image of Camille Vasquez with the words, "Of all the women who suck up to male power, women lawyers are the absolute worst of the bunch. Desperate to prove they are real lawyers and understanding that being a woman undermines their identity as lawyers, they throw women under the bus as hard and fast as they can." When a Twitter user suggested that if Ms. Dauber's son were accused of domestic violence, she would be happy to have Mrs. Vasquez represent him, she replied, "If my son was accused of domestic violence, he would have a lot more to worry about than some pick-me-girl lawyer." Expectedly, several users disagreed with the professor on all counts of her claims, with many of them stating that the judge did an amazing job. Starting with this user who wrote, "Judge was fantastic and very fair to both sides. In fact, she was so accommodating she even went as far as to give Elaine tips on how to word her questions properly and help her out. Overall, we heard very little from her, which is always a good sign." Another user wrote, "The amount of hate for Depp on her feed is obsessive. She's having a hard time accepting that Amber was exposed. Now, as a therapy method, she's gone on this wild rampage. Absolutely uncalled for, sending vile messages to herself and claiming them to be from Depp fans." The user actually tagged Stanford to the conversation, probably with the hopes that they would take action against her brazen attacks towards Depp's people. And it is unclear if there have been any reactions yet, but it'll come out soon enough. Tell us how this whole thing looks from your end.